Hello and welcome to the Q&A. So now it's up to you. I mean, I already did my job today. So best way, or three ways you prefer, you can write in the conversation. Hello again, Milad. Write on a Q&A or simply raise your hand. Hi, Vamsi. And I will invite you on stage and we can have a conversation. So choose your preferred way. Hello, Oksana. That's Minakash, oh my God, that's hard for me, sorry. Minakshi, I hope. Otherwise, jump on stage and Minakshi, thanks. Otherwise, you can jump on stage and teach me how to pronounce it. What happened to Frank? Frank has an issue in connection in Murcia today, so we will reschedule the Frank session for tomorrow. We will let you know exactly when. We are still talking with him now. And so the session with Frank is not lost, just posticipated to tomorrow. So here we are for the Q&A. So please, if you have any kind of question about even the event in general or the Internet of Senses, please drop your question. We have 17 people. I see also we have Petro. There's also Patricia. Hi, Patricia. Don't be shy. Write your question. Raise your hand. You can find the raise your hand button in the bottom bar. I want to understand how we can simulate Internet of Senses to create a landscape experience for a community. Yes, so why you don't raise your hand that we can talk about it. So it really depends on which kind of experience you are thinking about, but mainly I tell you what we are doing. Mainly what we are doing is to create a proof of concept where we, let's say, bring three different type of experiences. One experiences will be live stream, where we can live stream senses, or we have a raised hand. Fantastic. Thanks for accepting my invitation. Hello there.
Hi, Fabrizio.
Hi. Sorry for making a bit of confusion with your name.
No, it's all right. It's like it has to be divided in 4 syllables, so that's all right. I don't know.
Thank you. Really appreciate it. So, what's your idea? Explain me better your question, because it's very interesting for me.
I'm working on this project which is called Zanskar Protocol, and it is inspired from a landscape, or let's say a geography of a valley which is called Zanskar in Upper Himalayas.
Okay.
And since last 1 week, I am using the Mighty Networks to create a community. And then I started thinking what could be the best way to create a community where we can imagine or develop products for a landscape or a geography like that, which is actually a clean slate for humanity. I mean, there are no product. It's a bit like what Juta said in her first presentation, and you talked about Internet of Senses, so how we can bring creativity and all that, so that when people log into that community and we think about a project or about a place, perhaps not just Zanskar, but any other place somewhere in Kenya with indigenous people and all these, how can we embed it so when we are inside this community, we experience it?
I understand. So again, I tell you what is our experience. So what we are doing now is basically the idea is exactly to try to promote Internet of Senses, accelerate the coming of Internet of Senses. And the way we are doing it is creating the opportunity of people to teleporting themselves using technology, obviously, inside another person to share senses. So an example is exactly the marketplace I was talking before. The idea about marketplace is exactly the idea that I, from Frankfurt, can live an experience to be in your country, in your specific area, and get senses for you. That's the idea. Another thing you can do, obviously, is to use not real-time streaming, but also you can pre-record a video if you want to share an experience, and then you can add to the video the other senses. So, for example, smells, touch, and go deeper into experience. Another opportunity, obviously, is always to create another layer, so a kind of virtual reality or augmented reality, but at the end of the day, the idea is always the same. So basically, as I said before, the idea of Internet of Senses is born by the idea of sharing senses and promote empathy for me. So I can really be in your shoes. And that's what you can do. And the way to do it, as I say, or you can do it as a C2C, but it's basically what we are doing in our community. So inviting people to really connect and exchange experiences. Or you can do, at the beginning, creating pre-recorded experiences and share with other people. The only limitation we have, to be 100% honest today, is obviously the hardware. If people doesn't have the hardware to feel the smells, obviously they will not get it. But around this issue, as I commented before in the chat, due to the fact that hardware today is following a scarcity model, we are also trying to connect to accelerate the incoming of this technology, a VR facility or companies that can rent device to people. I hope this replied to your question, but please go deeper if you want.
Yes, it does. And I wanted to understand, like, do you collaborate with other? Does your community collaborate with another communities to share these kind of experiences?
Absolutely. The goal is really to create an ecosystem of people, companies, hardware producer, because we are not producing content, we're producing the technology, and we give the technology to content producer to promote their idea and creativity, as Jutta says, and you highlight correctly. So absolutely, yes, we are eager to find people crazy enough to believe in this future. Yeah, because at the end of the day, this is what we are doing at the beginning. Early adopters always believe in something, but other people can't see at the beginning. And if they want to jump on board, we are super happy to give them the technology and allow them to use them. So feel free to send me your details, connect with me, and we can have a conversation about it and see how we can help you.
All right, I'm on digital deconnection mode and trends. I'm not on LinkedIn, but I will reach out by email and by.
Yeah, I can send you my email here. Okay. It's not a big deal.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So,
okay, let me invite Milad.
Hello.
Hello, Milad.
Hello, my friend. How are you?
How are you? Oh, I'm not so old. Come on, you say you're my old friend. I'm not so old. Oh, you're young, but this is not exactly.
It's about 20.
No, I'm joking. You know, I'm joking. How are you?
It's 2016 in the Singularity now in the Barcelona Casa de Fel. How are you? First of all,
great.
Yes, that's great event. First of all, I appreciate you and Sasha provide this facility and Singularity University and all the members of this university. Now I would like to shift it back to one of my important question about smelling sense. As you know, you mentioned that in next 10 months, we could provide this facility for human. Could you demonstration more details about this? Yes, I appreciate you if you take more details about this.
I will, absolutely. So the crazy idea about, let's say, impollinating companies and people with technologies to create a big roadshow where we can visit a lot of city, a lot of VR facility, a lot of companies, and bring what I called before the proof of concepts. Basically, we will bring hardware and experiences with us in order that people can really live experiences, sniff them, taste them, touch them. So basically, you will have the opportunity. I will let you know when it will be. It will be a different event. It will be a hybrid event. and we will have a crazy roadshow through Europe, US, India as well. And if the goal before will invite us, we will go to Africa as well. Himalaya, sorry, as well. And there will be a lot of places where we would like to bring this technology so people can really feel it. Because one of the problems we have today, and also we have now, we are only using audio and video. How can I demonstrate smells or touch with audio and video? I can't. So that's a problem. And we will solve the problem of bringing the technology to you.
Okay. And one of another important question I asked it, but I couldn't take all the details from for main points. In one of the important event of Xperience awards was about remote robots, which you, for example, you work in, for example, in my country, for example,
Yes.
in Iran, and in the United States, you can localize some robots and you can
Xperience
control.
Anna is
Yes,
called.
yes, that was so great idea. In the previous time, this idea comes to my mind, but I couldn't find any situation for this. But Xperience introduced this technology, and in near future, we could, for example, remote control. You go to one station, one rooms, and you control that robots as you are on that location. And that's so interesting technology.
Yes.
Could you guess how much time does it take to improve it in a reality?
No, that's a very nice question. So for other attendees, Milad is mentioning a project called Xperience Anna. Xperience Anna is exactly basically the idea of the embodiment, but you will use a robot. The robot is called Numi, and Anna, that is basically a plane company, an airplane company, decided to find a new way to travel. And they promised to leave people to start embody, especially for this kind of experiences as remote working in the agricultural sector at the end of the next year. This is what they promised during the Express celebration. Yes.
That's a great news, and these days I study so harder than for some of my targets is United States, and then I go to European. It depends to the situation which one we work at.
Let's see what will happen if pandemic will add some delays, but they are very near. So Milad, it's a great pleasure to see you. I ended the microphone to the next one.
Okay, have a great
Talk
day.
later. Thanks for being with us.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Hello, Vamsi.
Hey, Fabrizio.
Hi, nice
Hi.
to see you. How are
Nice
you?
to see you too. I'm good. I met you a couple of months ago in Frankfurt.
Yeah, I remember.
Oh, wonderful. So I wasn't particularly sure if you had a presentation today during the event explaining the tech that you guys were developing. But for me, one of the biggest challenging questions when we talk about senses was, how do you quantify the smells and tastes, for example?
So, what part? Let me try to go deeper into your question.
Okay,
so,
sure.
Obviously, we need to collect on one side, digitalize, and send to the other side. That's very easy to understand, I think. Okay, so which of this part for you could represent, let's say, an issue in terms of technology or in terms of adoption? So let me try to understand better your question.
I think in terms of the technology.
In terms of the technology, super. So let's make a very small example. For example, smells. You probably heard about technologies like electronic noses, and also now there's this new Japanese company that produces a very small chip that can elaborate, they say, all the smells. So they can basically, collect, digitalize the smell, and then you can send it through, obviously, web as you're doing today, and then you can convey to the other people. But other people need a device. These devices today, for example, we have partnership with some device producer. One could be the OVR mask that you put on your headset. Another one could be the aroma joint that you have on your desk. That is very nice and with a very wow design. Or also you can have a bigger installation for bigger spaces called the haptic soil. So as you see, we are very fast covering all these steps from collecting, digitalizing, analyzing, prioritizing, and then streaming to end users.
Right. So you're basically integrating all these sensations through tech.
Exactly.
So are you developing a separate piece of hardware for each, or you're connecting these different
No,
hardwares?
that's a long question we have every time we talk with
Okay.
investors. No, it's a very good question.
Thank you.
Honestly talking, if I have to give you my personal point of view, I don't believe in hardware. And I can't see the day where I can take all my hardware and throw it, because we are polluting the earth with hardware. And personally talking, I'm getting tired of recharging my hardware every day. I can't wait to have a very nice brain-computer interfaces instead of having my mobile, my wristband, my headphones, and all the other stuff. So at the moment, we are not producing our own hardware, and we are not interested to do that. We rely on third parties hardware. So we are working mainly on integrating technology and let people use it on a large scale. So for example, we are working with streaming video on demand platform to, for example, let you join the next National Geographic documentary with smells.
Fantastic.
That's a very good example. And so this is exactly, we are working sensor-based technology. As one technology company, and we will talk with them in a minute. So this is what we are doing. We are not interested in developing the hardware at the moment, but integrating hardware is exactly our job. And to make this democratic at the end of the day.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. I think that's what's really important in terms of the adoption,
Yes.
widespread adoption. So it is a B2C, C2C product as well. It's not just B2B.
At the moment, as I said before, we are working on creating an ecosystem. So we are not selling. Sounds strange, but we are not selling anything. We just go to content creator companies that produce platform and says, hey, audio and video is getting bored after 100 years. Why we don't produce something more? We can help you.
Right.
This is what we are doing, and connecting the different part of the ecosystem to create this unlimited realities, opportunities for people. Because at the end of the day, if I can teleport you and I will be able to remove barriers, that will bring values.
Absolutely. Especially in times like this.
Absolutely. That's a perfect demonstration of the concept. Yes, I agree with you.
So as a company, how are you distributed? Are you primarily based in Europe, or are you
we are primarily based in Europe at the moment, but we are now dealing with distributors in different areas. As I say, we are working on a model called community and crowd. So basically, we will announce, so we are looking for what we call community engagement managers. So we are looking for local people that want to take care of the idea and bring it forward. We created a very distributed even business model for them to, as I say, if we want to make this thing happen and be democratic, we need to monetize every step of the chain. And this is what we are trying to do.
Right. This sounds pretty interesting, and I look forward to the further developments.
Absolutely. Thank you a lot for joining me.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So there's some question in the Q&A. Roberto, ciao Roberto. When I was a boy, I imagined a multisensory cinema for the possible simulation to make it happen. I'm very happy with your idea because we are connected with NLP. Absolutely, yes. And there's studio of neural connection to add additional sensation. Keep in mind that the senses are more than 5 normally considered. I totally agree with you about senses, and that's why before we say. So there are studies of neural connection to add additional sensation. Yes, there are studies. Still studies. That's one of the problems. I'm sure you read a lot about even Elon Musk and the brain-computer interfaces. So I can't promise that in a couple of years, you will have a chip implanted and you will be able to stimulate your senses, even the 6 senses or the other senses. But this will happen soon. So we can't predict exactly how many time it will take. And also we can say electrodes will not be the right technical solution, but there are a lot of interesting solutions. But mainly, I think now as all world are looking to try to uncover the power of brain-computer interaction, and in the future will be obviously brain-to-brain interaction. And as I say before, this is the road we would like to follow. How the technology will help new entrepreneurs, those who are working in agriculture sector. We're working in agri-tech, but farmers are not so much aware new technology or modern farming technology. I totally understand your point. So you're talking about adoption and technology understanding. Obviously, any kind of technology, especially in some market, need time or need what people call the killer application. There's a lot of technology in that area. It's not my specific area of knowledge. For example, I never work in agri-tech. So, but I can connect with a lot of people in agri-tech, especially in Singularity. There's a lot of people are working on that sector. So my suggestion is for you to jump in the Singularity network and connect with people that are working there. And we are working exactly on the topic you are raising now. So how we can and what technology we can promote to help people. And also we discussed about, with someone when we discussed it a couple of months ago, also about innovative process in terms of recycling or circular economy in the agri-tech. So my invitation is, if you want a very deep conversation, jump on the Singularity Network. It's totally free, and post your topic in the discussion in the tech area. I'm sure you will find a lot of people working in that sector that could help you. You are working sensor-based technology. That's very interesting. So if you have something about senses and you would like to somehow introduce or connect, feel free to send me an email, to connect with me. I'm super happy to know more and more people, company, and innovators that are trying to bring forward this way of thinking. Is it natural stimulation by trigger olfactory experiences, or like a digital neural bridge of experience only for Internet of Senses? Yes. So one of the best points of using, obviously, neural stimulation or brain-computer interfaces is, in terms of inclusion, the ability to allow people that, for example, have temporary or permanent limitation, like physical limitation, to have full experiences again. So, for example, if you lose the ability to use your legs and you lose sensitivity in your legs with brain-computer interfaces, you will be able to feel the warmth of the sand, and you will be able to run again on a beach and feel again the sensation. So the idea of using brain-computer interfaces to remove the barriers of, let's say, the body shell, that's exactly what we are talking about when we're talking about stream to your brain. So we can stream senses to your brain, and it doesn't matter if, so for example, talking about eyes, I'm wearing my glasses because my view is not perfect. But if I can have images directly to my brain-computer interfaces, I will not take in consideration my optic nerve. So I will jump this barrier. I will go directly to send images to my brain. And so it doesn't matter how perfect is this part of my body, because I will jump it in terms of streaming data to my brain or my persona. I hope this could help to understand why a lot of people are trying to bring this kind of technology forward. Okay. Wow, that's a tough question. Thank you for asking. Can we add positive experience in memory database for EBD using positive sensory experience and decoupling the physical and mental experiences in existing Braille library content? I mean, for the pure technological point of view, it sounds possible. I don't see any limitation. Probably you heard about some experiment a couple of years ago. There was a company called Madre. It's an Italian name, but the company was a US company that tried to stimulate lucid dreams using a similar technology or technique. And basically what they offer to people is exactly the idea to add kind of positive experiences. Another thing we are working on is probably the step before, and is try to understand your needs in terms of emotional need, and then serve you what you need in terms of experiences. In the future, probably what we'll see is, especially if we bring to brain computer interfaces, will be exactly the opposite. So how can we decide which experience we would like to live while we are able basically to receive any kind of experiences in a fraction of a millisecond? So going back to your question without trying to go too wider, the answer is technically yes. And there were a lot of attempts before in that direction. In terms of if there's something on the market, obviously not. It's too early. But as I say, there's already some company who try to explore this area. Okay, if you have more questions or would like to jump on stage and go deeper, please raise your hand, write in the chat, and I will be very happy to discuss with you any kind of curiosity and opportunity about these topics. Can we have a simple version for people with neurodiversity needs? Again, from the pure technical point of view, yes. And let me try to explain you why yes. Because at the end of the day, for example, I'm working on a project able to use AI to control the behavioral and emotional need. So behavioral analysis and emotional need of people. And we are using this kind of approach to create a one-to-one not only experiences, but interaction. Obviously, we are talking about virtual interaction today, but in the future will be experiences, there will be any other kind of interaction. So if I correctly understand your question, the problem from my point of view is, are you able to design a pattern to identify people with neurodiversity needs? If you can, and if you have the answer in terms of what you can offer them, obviously the other kind of thing is coming very easily. Because at the end of the day, one of the goals, I think, especially of a branch of AI called artificial empathy, is the ability to understand the user need and serve him or her exactly what she or he needs. So in your case, I think the best reply is yes, you have to use a mechanism similar to that one where you can somehow profile the user automatically using AI or simply asking the user in a very simple version. And then you will be able to offer him exactly what he need or she need, both in terms of content, but most important in terms of the way you will deliver content. So in terms of senses, in terms of experiences, in terms of emotions. So yes, it could be very easy to create a mock-up if you're interested in something like that. Super. Very nice to read your feedback. Good. So we have 20 minutes more. Are where manager style in terms of business management in your knowledge can make a greater use of senses, especially now that we are shifting to virtual teams? Now, ciao Stefano, that's not the right question for me, because probably I know other people that could help you better than me. So today's senses are pretty not very well used, as you know, in terms of electronic realities. In terms of managerial style, I'm sure, as I said before, there are a lot of people who can help you better than me. If you wish, I can connect you, for example, with Linda Van Andel, that is the co-founder of a company where I serve as advisor, and we are using AI to help people to understand their talent. And she's a more than 15 years experienced coach. I think she could reply to your question very well. So if you want to connect, just drop me a line on LinkedIn and I will do that. I'm very happy because unfortunately, managerial style and coaching is totally not my cup of tea. What have been planned for the MVP? What can we expect? So there are two types of MVP. One is the community, and in the community you can basically teleport yourself in two ways. One, you can find already existing experiences and join one experiences, and then we can identify a person and she or he will start streaming. So we will connect you and she will start streaming to you. Or if you don't like what is in the program or in the catalog and you want to something that is designed only for you, and that's what I really love in terms of the idea, you can write your own dream and say, I want to skydiving from the Empire State Building in the night during the 4th of July. Super, we will find someone and we will connect you. It's a C2C community. That's one of the MVP. The other MVP is more about, as I say, different areas. So this is for live streaming. For virtual reality and for streaming video on demand, what we will bring around will be the opportunity to feel the senses in a metaverse. So basically you will enter in a metaverse, you will touch different objects, you will receive the smell of this different object, and in the streaming video on demand, we will give you the opportunity to have a new view on some clips. So you will see the clips in the normal audio video way, so the two-dimensional, and then at the same time, you will have the opportunity to feel passive, active touch and smells. As I say in my presentation, we are a bit in late with taste, but it will arrive, don't worry. Grazie a te, Stefano. It's a pleasure to see you. So that's it, 10 minutes more. If you have something else to ask, please don't be shy. You can even raise your hand, as I say at the beginning, or drop your question in the Q&A area or in the chat. In the meantime, let me give you a very quick look at the program. Okay. How is the weather in Frankfurt? That's a very provocative question because I'm Italian, and weather in Frankfurt usually is gray, cold, and with few light. So it probably is not the best choice in terms of weather. And even now, I don't have any light. Basically, even it's quite 2 p.m. So summer is not yet arrived in Frankfurt. If this is your question, but it will be fixed soon. But during the summer, it's a very nice place. A lot of green areas, very easy to live as a city. You can walk everywhere. It's very, very easy to live here, honestly talking. In terms of support, in terms of connection, in terms of startup, in terms of technology. So, but you don't have sun. So you have to make a choice. Oh, okay. Where were you from today? I heard you hate hardware, but other than that, what do you think is the bigger entry barrier for this tech now? It's not that I honestly hate hardware, but I think hardware has a big limitation in terms of scarcity. So hardware need money, need delivery, need time to be produced. So if in the nearest future we will be able to remove this scarcity model from the equation, that will be very easy. So the biggest entry barrier for us at the moment is exactly the hardware, because a lot of people, doesn't have the hardware to test the solution. And so we have to find a way around. A way around could be rented, so VR facility, when you can basically, instead of buying the hardware, you can rent the hardware and you can bring it at home for a couple of days. Or once the price tag of the hardware will be lower than today, then you can buy it. So I don't hate it in terms of, obviously, but in terms of long progression, I see hardware as a problem of our evolution. Let's make another example. And it's a classical example I do when I talk with people about technology, and they ask me, oh, so you need hardware before or technology before? Think about augmented reality. I'm sure anyone in this room knows thousands of people who work on augmented reality. But at the same time, they know a few of them that have at home a very high quality augmented reality device, because a very good high augmented reality devices cost you 2,000 euros. So not a lot of people can afford 2,000 euros. So this is my point when I say I hate hardware, and I hope we will move forward. But now hardware is important. That's why we are trying to embrace and have in our ecosystem people who can provide you hardware for a very low price. I hope this reply to your question. Thanks, Milad, for your feedback about whoever and technology. You can tap both, probably. That's all. It's totally fine. But that's why also I can teleport you in your country and join the technology, and then I can go back here and join the wherever. Sorry, I can go back here and play with my technology. So, Alex, I hope my question will reply to your my answer. Sorry, reply to your question. And this is how we see the issue today. But if you have a different vision, I'm very happy to heard about you or about your experience. I see you're working as a Unity researcher, so you have a lot of experience in the area, I think. Thanks for the feedback. Really appreciate it. But we want to solve it. Absolutely. And we have to solve it. So it's interesting to collect different views on the same problem as well, because we can learn a lot from our collaborators, our ecosystem partners, and all the people that are trying to help us to make this community being a crowd. So still 4 minutes. Let me know if there's something else you would like to know. Otherwise, we will go in break for a couple of minutes, and then later there will be additional session. There will be the future of VR commerce. There will be Pedro talking about, again, the Internet of Senses, going in detail. There will be Nelson talking about metaverse versus real life. So the day is still very long. So take a look at a session and join the event with us later. Any potential use case for hospitals? Yes. Luis, I love the question. I don't know if it's a use case, but it's something we would like to do. We would love very soon to open a kind of program where we can offer experiences to people that are hospitalized. So the idea is to offer them the ability for free, obviously, to get outside the hospital in terms of teleporting themselves out and sharing experiences. Sasha is working on that, and I hope soon we will have the ability to give experiences for free to hospitals. So if you are already working with hospital and there's something interesting for you, please contact us. The idea is exactly this one. So we would like to open the community to people that are living inside barriers at that precise moment and free them. So I don't know if it's the use case you was thinking about, but for us, it's one of our goals, and it will happen before the end of the year for sure. For example, now we are launching in museums in Italy, we are launching on tourism in different areas. So very soon we will be super happy to share this initiative with anyone who wants to promote inside hospitals. Oh, that's I don't know the Acti Hospital hackathon, but that sounds very interesting. Yes, please feel free to connect. I'm on LinkedIn. I will give you my LinkedIn very quickly. Give me a second because I closed my browser. I'm on it now. Super. You're faster than me. Really appreciate it. Yes, connect, please. I will connect with Sasha with the promise that for us it's very important. Really. Our goal, and you will see our massive transformative purpose on the website as well, is really to allow people to remove barriers. So I think hospital represent a perfect example where we can have an impact. So thanks a lot for your question. What is super exciting? Honestly, this is by far the most disruptive project for Germany. When they never stay consume content on iOS and YouTube. Thank you, Vamsi. Yes, and for Germany, I think it's even too much. Personally talking, because every time we pitch to investor here, we never collect a single penny. But a good point is that we collected a lot outside Germany. So we are very happy how things moving forward. And thanks a lot for being here with me. And have a nice break. And see you later in the other session, guys. I really appreciate the question. I really appreciate the time you spent with me. I hope you learn a bit, and I hope you had additional idea, and maybe we will have project together soon. Take care, and thanks a lot again.